Hello and welcome. In this video we will learn everything we need to know about text view widget. Every layout in Android or view. Android, if you look at left there at the palette here, everything here is called a view or a widget. So we will be learning about almost every these widget. So let's get started with simple text view, the first one we get. So if we look at our app, we already have text view in the center. You can even see from here component tree that it's under constraint layout we have a text view. So text view is essentially a widget which we use to show some text to the user, to display some data, and that the data that is in the form of text to the user. So in this video we will be playing with this text view widget. So I'm going to first of all remove this by pressing delete on my keyboard, and as you can see it's gone. Now there are two ways of designing the layout for our app. One is to at the bottom you have two parts. One is the design one and the second is the text. If you go to the text, there is some XML code written. We can design our app in two ways. Either we can write XML code, or we can use the designer provided by the Android Studio to us. So in our starting videos we will use the designer to design our layout, and later on we will move to the text, and we will also discover how can we design the layout using that. So from here you can even search for a text view, and here is the text view. I'm going to drag and drop it anywhere on screen. Let's drop it here. So I've dragged and dropped the text view on my screen. As you can see, it has four little dots on every side of it, and from the left side of component tree you can see it is showing some kind of error. And if you hover over to the error, it says this view is not constrained, it has only design time position, so it will jump to 00 at runtime unless you add the constraints. What it is saying is that you need to connect this text view to some place, otherwise it will jump to the 00 position of this screen. Means that 0 on the x-axis and 0 on the y-axis, which means when we will run this project, this text view will jump to this place, top left corner of the screen. So what this mean by that, I'm going to first of all start my emulator and let you guys show this what it actually looks like. So here my emulator is ready. Now I'm going to run this project on my emulator, and I'm going to select use same selection for future launches. So wait for the building process to complete. It takes as much time as according to the speed of your computer. It's installing the APK, and now it is going to launch it. So as you can see, our text view has jumped to the 0 on x-axis and 0 on y-axis position of the screen. So how can we get rid of this? Because we decided to place it in the center of screen and we want to be displayed in the center of screen. So if we look at our project, let me go to the text part here. As you can see, when we drag and drop our text view, it has written automatically a background XML code for us. So this is the beauty of Android Studio. So what I want to show you is that everything we drag and drop is placed inside a container. In our case, this is constraint layout. Constraint layout is a layout which acts as a main container on the screen. Everything we will place inside our screen will be inside of this main container here. Alright, so now this error shows that in order to place this text view inside our container, we need to give it some positions that where we want to place this text view. We haven't given any positions to this text view, we have just dragged and dropped it. So in order to give it positions, it has 4 little icons on it. If I hover over to one icon, it tells me that create left constraint, and if I click on it and drag it to the left side of the screen and place it right there, so as you can see, it has moved to the left side of the screen. What it does is, if you attach this with the left side of screen, it applies a specific force on it that attracts it towards the side you have attached it. And now what we want is, we want this to be centered, so we need to apply a cross force that will attract it towards itself. For example, we need to attach this to the right side. Drag it to the screen and then release the button, so it will become it will go to the center of the screen. Now it has some kind of force on the left side and some kind of force on the right side, and both forces are equal, so the text view field is in the center of the screen. So if we again run the project, you will see that the text view will go to the top of the screen, but it will remain in the center horizontally, but it will not remain in the center vertically. The reason for that is we haven't created any vertical constraints. As you can see here, it is centered horizontally, but not vertically. So what we need to do is, we need to connect this constraint also to the top of the screen. Now it is on the top of screen. If you run it again, it will stay there because its default position is 0 on the y-axis. So now we have attached it to 0. We have told it to remain at 0. So if we want it to be centered, we need to connect its bottom constraint. So as you can see, it is centered in the main screen, and as you can see, error is gone, and now it is just a warning, and that says it's a hard-coded text view. Means that this means this text we have written in text view is hard-coded. So we will get rid of this warning later. So let me run it again. Now you can see it's in center. So that's it for this video. In the next video we will continue to learn about text view widget.